Welcome to Black Owned, a platform created to promote Black-owned businesses. This show will feature none other than
George Woods from Woods Mortgage and Financial Services.
you guys have no idea how excited I am about this one. It's going to be a good one today. Let's hop right into it.
Let's do it.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and how
Yeah.
you got started in the financial business.
Yeah. Well, like I said, my name is George G. Money Woods. I've been in finance pretty much all my life. I've always, just liked money. I always liked saving it. I would collect coins and do all that type of stuff. So it's always been my passion. Even in school, I like numbers. So I'm pretty good at that. God has given me that talent. So I've always wanted to be in finance. I went to school for finance, first at LSU and finished up at UL here in Lafayette. Got my degree in finance. So, it's just been something that I've always been passionate about. Started out with Northwestern Mutual as a financial advisor where I did insurance and investments. Went on from there to Wells Fargo where I started my career in mortgage loans.
Yeah.
So that's where I started. That was in 2004. So I've been doing that for 16 years.
How would you encourage our community, especially, to take this more seriously? And I know you say you provide loans for homes. There's a lot of people who believe that that's something that's very difficult to do.
Right.
What would you say to people who think that it is difficult and may have trouble feeling like they can get a home loan?
Yeah. The process can seem difficult because of like I said, not setting yourself up for that moment. Everything, it doesn't just happen. It's just a process. You got to set yourself up for that moment. So what happens is, for a lot of us, being that we didn't have the education and nobody to really give us that knowledge about that process when we were younger, we did all the steps backwards. We messed up on some things,
Right.
like our credit. We didn't, pretty much save money like we're supposed to. So when it comes down to buying a home, that's when that process can get difficult, when you got some things you got to work out in your credit, and you also got to have that money to be able to get yourself in that home.
What are the different types of loans that you can get in order to buy a home? I realize that there are different avenues that you can take.
Right.
Whenever you're looking to get a home loan, what are those different avenues what are the different options that we can take?
Yeah, well, to just get to the process, what you want to do is, especially for people that don't have any credit, because a lot of times what happens is the credit is a big part of it. And a lot of times what happens is, even from some of our parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, their thing was they didn't want to have to deal with banks or loans, so they would pay everything cash.
Right.
Well, paying everything cash don't help you out because you're not establishing credit. So what you want to do is you always want to get you just a credit card, a small credit card. It don't have to be big, and just basically use it, but don't abuse it. You don't want to.
You definitely have to have discipline.
Right, you have to have discipline. You don't want to max it out, because by maxing it out, it's telling the credit report that, telling the agencies that you need that credit to survive. So you want to basically keep your balance basically less than 10% of what that limit is. So that way you're showing utilization, but you're not showing that, hey, I need this to survive.
Right.
And that builds your credit. And that's on the revolving side. But then on the installment side, you want to basically get an installment loan too, so you can build some installment credit. So a lot of good things out there. You can go to banks or credit unions, and you can get what's called a secured loan. You can go in there and you can, put $1,000 in a savings account, and they can give you $1,000 loan. Using that savings as collateral, or a certificate of deposit as collateral, and you just pay on that loan.
Yeah.
So you're really, in essence, just really paying yourself. So that helps out as well, and that builds credit.
Yeah.
So that gets you set up to when you get ready to want a car or a home loan, it'll be much easier for you.
Yeah. Could you explain like what an FHA loan is and all the other different types of loans that you can get and all
Yeah,
this about it.
yeah. So once you get to the point where you have some money saved up, your credit is there, you can go. There's different loans out there. There's basically 4 loans out there that you can get. 3 of them out there are they're government loans. You have FHA, you have rural development, and then you have VA loans, and then you have conventional. So the 2 of them out there are loans that you can get basically 100% financing. So you don't have to put any down payment on them. That's rural development, and that's VA loans. So VA is for veterans that served in our military. Thank you for your service. And but they can get 100% loan, which means they don't have to come with any down payment.
Right.
But a lot of misconceptions about that is that they think they don't have to come up with any money. So yeah, you don't have to come up with a down payment, but they still have closing costs that you are responsible for.
Right. Exactly.
With that, but sometimes that's minimal. It don't have to be as much, and the seller can take care of some of that stuff for you. And then there's the FHA, which is a government-backed loan as well. It's 3.5% that you have to put down. And let me go back. The rural development was the other one that's 100%, but that has to be in a rural area of town. It can't be within like the city limits. So, when they're trying to develop that rural area, they'll give you 100% loan with no down payment. But then, like I said, yeah, the FHA is 3.5% down plus
And that's
closing costs.
first-time home owners.
Yeah, well, it's not just first-time home buyers for any one of these loans.
Okay.
But there is like what's called first-time home buyer programs, where people that's their first time getting a home, or if you hadn't had a home, you hadn't purchased a home in 3 years, you would qualify for that as well. But people that's their first time getting a home, there's programs out there to basically teach them on everything that we're kind of talking about here today.
Would you recommend people to buy a home or rent a home?
There's benefits to both of them. Owning a home is something that people see as something that they can invest in and leave behind a legacy for their kids, which we'll get into a part about that when we talk about the other side of my business, which is the financial services side. Because a misconception as well is that when you buy a home, or when you take out a loan, a mortgage loan to get a home, you own the home. Well, you're on the mortgage, but that deed is not released until that mortgage is paid off. Renting is something that people do. Now, you're going to pay higher for rent because it's somebody else's home than you will if you go and get a mortgage loan and purchase that home. But at the same token, when you're renting, it's a year lease. Some people, they don't like to stay in the same place.
Right.
They may want to rent something out for a year or 2 and then move on and go and get something else. Some people, that's their style, that's what they want to do.
What do you think about government housing? Do you think more people need to sway away from that and just either rent a home or just buy a home within itself? What do you think about? What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that is very broad because I don't, I'm not going to say I don't think anybody needs to be relying on the government and being in government housing. I think it's something that should be temporary. Just like any other government assistance. I think is there to use in times of when you're at a low point. But I don't think it's something that should be a regular thing that is continual. So as far as government housing, I do think government housing is good for people that has low income. Now, should you just be relaxed with that and just say, this is where I'm at just because I'm paying, $25 a month or something, for this house?
Right.
No, I mean, it should be somewhere where, okay, yeah, I need this assistance now because my income is not there, but I'm on a path to bettering myself, going to school or working hard on the job to get to get promoted or get better jobs, so I can make more money, so that way I can rent better homes, and I can also one day buy my own home.
So some people may think that they don't necessarily have that person to come talk to receive some financial services and financial dollars.
Right.
Is it okay for people to come to people like you to get that advice?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. I mean, I'll counsel anybody at any point in time that need that advice, because each one teach one. If I can give it to you, and then you can give it to somebody else, then they can spread in our community where we can be knowledgeable about these things. The reason we don't have the things we could have is because we don't have the knowledge. We're starting to come into it, and a lot more people are starting to learn about it, and I'm really happy with the millennials who are wanting to learn about it, because that's where change is going to really take place. So yeah, most definitely at any time, anybody can reach out to me. We have seminars that we do for free. We provide free food. It'd be a little disappointing because we do it and we put it out there, but not a lot of people show up. And then when they get into this process, they go, oh, I didn't realize it was so hard. I didn't realize we had to do all this and all that.
Things that y'all talk about in the seminars.
We talk about pretty much everything we're kind of talking about today. Just go through credit. We go through the home buying process as far as all the loans that's out there that you be able to qualify for. We talk. I have and when we say credit, I have a credit repair guy that I work with that comes in and talks about that. I have a realtor that I work with that come in and talk about once you're pre-approved for a home, then you get with a realtor and y'all can start shopping for a home. They can give you different things you can look for. You give them your criteria of what you want in a home, and they can go out and shop for that home for you. A lot of times people like to put the cart before the horse, and they want to get with a realtor. They want to start looking at homes before you even know you qualify for the home.
Yeah.
So
or seeing how much you actually qualify for.
Exactly. Yeah, because you may be looking at a $250,000 house and you don't qualify for that. Maybe your income and with the debt that you currently have, you only qualify for $175. So looking at $250, that you're wasting your time.
Right.
And then if you can't get pre-approved, then you're wasting your time and the realtor's time by just going out and looking at houses. And did you go do the first order of business, which is getting with somebody like me, a mortgage broker, or any loan officer out there that's doing this hard work as well, and going and get yourself pre-qualified.
Right. How can people stay connected with your business?
Yeah, they can stay connected on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, I'm George Woods now. I'm also, I have a page, Woods Mortgage and Financial Services. I'm on Instagram at Woods_mortgage.
You have a phone number?
Yeah, it's 337-769-3352.
And what about our website?
www.WMFSLLC.com.
And the address that people can locate you.
Yeah, I'm right here at 128 Demanity Boulevard, Suite 306. That's Lafayette, Louisiana, 70503.
So there you have it. If you want to stay connected to Woods Mortgage and Financial Services, go ahead and stay connected via Facebook and Instagram. Also, if you would like to stay connected with Black Owned, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Black Owned Media. Also, follow us on Instagram at BLK Owned Media. Also, on Twitter at BLK Owned Media. Thank you, and we'll see you on another episode of Black Owned.